Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
George Washington was the father of our country. Donald Trump is the father of Eric. Big difference there.
Jimmy Kimmel's a loser.
When you poke the bear, be ready for the consequences. Jimmy Kimmel found this out the hard way after taking a jab at Sylvester Stallone. What started as a playful late-night quip quickly turned into a public relations disaster for Kimmel. But Stallone didn't just hit back. He delivered a powerful response that had fans cheering and industry executives on edge. It all began with a move that left Hollywood insiders stunned. Kimmel, known for his sharp humor, allegedly blocked Stallone from appearing on his show. Why? Because Stallone had dared to speak out against the dominant narrative in Hollywood.
When I did Rocky, if you remember, the first image was a picture of Jesus. It says Resurrection AC Club. I found a church that had been converted to a boxing ring. So the image pans down from Jesus onto Rocky being hit. And at that moment, he was a chosen person, and that's how I began the journey. Something was going to happen. This man was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump. And I'll just say this, and I mean it. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
If Kimmel thought blocking Stallone would fly under the radar, he quickly learned otherwise. A leaked memo from the show's production team exposed the snub, triggering widespread outrage and speculation online. Fans were quick to demand answers, and social media erupted. Hashtags like #TeamStallone and #CancelKimmel began trending, subjecting the late-night host to intense public scrutiny. But what exactly did Stallone say to provoke such a response? The iconic actor had recently spoken out against Hollywood's growing fixation on political correctness, warning that it posed a serious threat to creativity and storytelling. He argued that an overemphasis on trends was suppressing true artistry, a sentiment that resonated with many fans but unsettled industry insiders. Kimmel,
I guess those punches Rocky took to the head were real after all. George Washington was the father of our country. Donald Trump is the father of Eric. Big difference there. After Stallone, it was Golf Clubber Lang's turn at the podium. You know, I keep wondering when this bromance between Trump and Elon Musk is going to blow up like a SpaceX rocket. But for now, at least, it appears to be going strong.
likely fearing a backlash from his own audience, decided Stallone was too controversial to appear on his show. The move backfired in a big way. Stallone's fans rallied to his side, criticizing Kimmel for attempting to silence voices that dared to challenge the mainstream narrative. Kimmel's already struggling show saw a sharp drop in ratings, only intensifying the backlash. Then came Stallone's response, measured, composed, and strategic. Rather than retaliating on social media, he turned to platforms where he could speak his mind freely. Appearances on podcasts like Joe Rogan's and Greg Gutfeld's provided him the perfect stage to articulate his views, and his fans admired him even more for it. Meanwhile, Kimmel and his team scrambled to manage the fallout. Reports emerged that producers urgently tried to get Stallone to reconsider, offering him extra airtime and even full creative control over the interview, an unprecedented gesture born out of desperation. But Stallone wasn't moved. He saw through the hollow offers and refused to let Kimmel use him as a lifeline to salvage his dwindling ratings. His principled stand only solidified his legendary status in Hollywood. The fallout was more than a
Jimmy Kimmel's a loser. I do Jimmy Kimmel. I did him a lot.
Yeah.
And he'd be standing on the sidewalk. Oh, sir, may I bring you in? He'd bring me in every time. The whole show is talking bad about Trump.
He called us doofuses when we had you on.
He's a group of doofuses in flat-brimmed hats.
Guess what? We
Ask
did
him how
5x
many.
what he did.
Ask him.
5x
Yeah,
what
you
he
do
did.
bigger. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. His show's dying.
personal blow to Kimmel. It reverberated throughout the industry. Producers began rethinking their approach to late-night TV. The backlash highlighted a widening rift between traditional media and the newer platforms that champion authenticity. While Stallone thrived in this new media landscape, Kimmel's struggles intensified. Internal reports revealed that Disney executives were growing increasingly frustrated with the damage the controversy was doing to ABC's reputation. Advertisers began pulling their support, putting Kimmel's position in jeopardy. But the most shocking development came when it was reported that Kimmel's team had offered Stallone complete creative freedom for the interview, an unprecedented move in late-night television. To critics, it seemed like a desperate ploy to boost ratings. To fans, it felt like poetic justice. Stallone, however, remained unfazed. He continued to secure new projects and expand his fan base, while Kimmel worked to salvage his relevance. AS social media buzzed in Stallone's favor, hailing him as the voice of independent thought in Hollywood. The fallout from this feud rippled across the entertainment industry. Executives realized that audiences were now gravitating toward unfiltered, unscripted content, leaving traditional late-night TV formats scrambling. Podcasts and independent media platforms were gaining momentum, and late-night shows seemed to be losing their grip. Meanwhile, Kimmel faced increasing pressure from both fans and network executives. Could he repair the damage, or had he alienated too many viewers by taking on someone as beloved as Stallone? The stage was set, and the outcome of this feud could determine whether Kimmel's career could weather the storm or if this was the beginning of the end for his late-night reign. Meanwhile, Stallone's star continued to rise. His reality series, The Family Stallone, became an unexpected hit, resonating with viewers for its raw and relatable content. As Kimmel's ratings plummeted, Stallone's popularity soared, proving that authenticity still had the upper hand in an industry obsessed with optics. Kimmel's decision to blacklist Stallone now looked less like boldness and more like career suicide for a host already facing shaky numbers. The growing backlash from Stallone's rejection fueled even more speculation about Kimmel's future. Critics began whispering that Kimmel's days as a late-night staple might be numbered, especially as calls for more balanced, diverse voices increased. As the fallout deepened, Kimmel's ratings took another hit. The Stallone snub wasn't just a personal mistake, it was becoming a full-blown professional disaster. ABC executives, already concerned about declining viewership, were reportedly nearing a breaking point, with some speculating that this controversy could be the final straw in their investment in Kimmel. Since Jimmy Kimmel Live launched in 2003, the show had built a reputation with sharp humor and bold takes. However, over time, its heavy reliance on political humor alienated many viewers, leaving ABC to shoulder the consequences. As part of Disney's vast entertainment empire, ABC had supported Kimmel for his appeal to younger, progressive audiences. But in a late-night landscape now brimming with alternatives, that strategy seemed to be losing its effectiveness, with rival shows gaining ground. ABC was under mounting pressure to deliver ratings and justify advertising dollars, and Kimmel's ability to anchor this strategy was now in serious question. The Stallone controversy wasn't Kimmel's first misstep. Over the years, several celebrities had quietly declined to appear on his show, citing restrictive terms and controlling producers. One notable example involved Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. When Kimmel invited him on, it reportedly came with a list of off-limits topics, including Johnson's rumored political ambitions. Known for his unfiltered persona, Johnson rejected the restrictions and chose to engage with platforms that embraced candid conversation. Taylor Swift had a similar experience. Concerned about Kimmel's tendency to twist narratives for comedic effect, risking damage to her carefully curated image, Swift opted out, joining a growing list of stars who avoided Kimmel's show. Even icons like Barbra Streisand had clashes with Kimmel. After requesting simple camera angle adjustments for her appearance, Streisand was reportedly dismissed by Kimmel's team, leading her to cancel the interview entirely. Fans were outraged, with many asking, who denies Barbra Streisand anything? Sean Penn's situation added more fuel to the fire. When invited to promote a humanitarian project, Penn clashed with producers who pushed for trivial Hollywood gossip instead of serious topics. Frustrated, Penn stormed off just hours before airtime, leaving Kimmel scrambling to find a replacement. The dramatic exit made headlines, with many applauding Penn for standing by his principles while Kimmel's reputation took another hit. These recurring clashes revealed a larger issue. Kimmel was struggling to adapt to a changing media environment, where authenticity was key. Scripted jokes and one-sided conversations were quickly becoming outdated, and Stallone's victory over Kimmel highlighted this shift. Audiences were turning to unfiltered, relatable voices. Podcasts and streaming platforms thrived on this trend, while traditional late-night TV struggled to keep pace. As Kimmel's influence waned, Stallone's stature continued to grow. Fans celebrated his decision to bypass traditional outlets and embrace platforms that allowed for free expression. This shift raised uncomfortable questions for ABC and Disney. How could they save a sinking ship without alienating their audience even more? Stallone's rejection of Kimmel had become more than just a celebrity feud. It was a cultural turning point, challenging Hollywood's rigid narratives and signaling a shift toward authenticity. While Kimmel faced growing pressure to reinvent himself, Stallone thrived by staying true to his values. Whether this controversy marks the end of Kimmel's reign on late-night TV remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Hollywood won't forget the day Stallone flipped the script.